Whoa, that's a lot of unpainted foam. I gotta do something about this. And it's black. I know you're asking, but Dave, how did you get such a perfect shade of black primer on this piece of terrain? Did I use the stinky spray primer? No, never use a stinky spray primer on raw foam. This would be disaster. This stuff would melt, just completely turn your terrain into a bubbling mass of chaotic hellscape. Well, you may be going for that, so give it a shot. But no, if you spray foam without a layer of protection on it, this stuff will just melt it. This is matte Mod Podge, and it's about a 50-50 mix of good old black acrylic craft paint and the Mod Podge. And I mix this all up, and I put on a nice coat, actually 2 coats, onto the foam. Now what this does is it primes it. It'll give us a good base to do some painting, and it actually puts like a light layer of varnish on the model itself. This will help protect it while in gameplay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start to put on some base colors. I'm going to start with the doors. I'm going to choose a brown undertone to kind of match the doors, but also to give an additional layer of depth to the paint. We're going to follow up the brown with some gray, and we're going to highlight it with white. My target color is a dark granite. Now it's time to give it a good wash. This is a terrain wash. Basically, it's going to add some shadows and give a little bit more depth to the color. This is almost the exact same thing as what you'd use on your miniatures, but this is inexpensive. This is slightly expensive, and you see the difference in quantity here. There are many recipes for a good terrain wash out there on the internet. Little cup of wash right here. One of the other things I use are these T-pins. It's a T-pin. It's a little pin shaped like a T. And I use them to raise the terrain off the ground. We're just washing it. This is going to go back in and kind of blend together our base coat and our undertone. And it's going to give another layer of warmth and depth to our overall look. So back to the doors. Yeah, so we have the real sloppy base coat here of brown. I selected a complementary brown to lighten it up a little bit from my paint collection. I'm using a makeup brush that I stole from my wife. Don't tell her. And I will do some.
Tell me what?
Shh. I will do some dry brushing. It's okay to get sloppy. It's dry brushing. We could all fix this with an ink wash or something. But you just want to give additional highlights to your doors. Yep. Brown. It's kind of golden-y. I'll clean this brush before I put it back in my wife's collection. Don't worry. Yeah. Oh, there we go. One thing I did off camera is I put a light coat of diluted PVA glue over the grass. It's still a little tacky, a little cloudy. It'll clear up as it dries overnight. I also sanded the hinge nubs a little bit because I noticed they were sticky, and I don't want the doors to be sticky. So yeah, I sanded those down just a tad. So wow, here we are. I've done the assembly of the support beam with the doors. I used tacky glue to hold it in place so I could adjust it as necessary. I got a nice, it's not too loose, it's not too tight. That's great. Now what I'm going to want to do is glue the top on. For that, I will be using hot glue, and I'm just going to put hot glue around each of these pillars. There we go. I will align and put pressure on that. That works good. There. Oh my God, we're done. One last thing. Before this hits your table, you want to do your final layer of protection. What I use is good old Minwax polyurethane. It's about $8 a can. If you don't want to, this is a clear satin, so it gives it a slight gloss, just a little bit. But I don't think it detracts from the overall appearance. And it really protects the phone. If you don't want that gloss, you can go with the expensive brand, and it'll be more matte. But you see, that's kind of like almost $20 a can. I do use this for my miniatures because they're really important to me. So please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. I enjoyed creating this for you.
Daddy, I want to say something.
So
it's 4 o'clock.
It's 4 o'clock. Are you telling me I have to stop painting?
I just want you to know.
Okay. Thank you. I'll stop painting now.